When It Breaks is the new single from Inhaler, and Eli from the band is my guest. I was going to say is here, but no one's really here. We're all virtually here. Eli, how are you?
I am virtually honoured to be here.
So look, we spoke back in January at the Eurosonic Festival. It really is, the world seems a very different place at the moment. You mentioned to me 2020 was the year that you were going to try and go in and record your debut album. With all the things that have happened, have you managed to do that?
We have managed. I have no idea how, but we have managed to do it. In some ways, it might have actually been good for the album because if we were touring, we wouldn't really have as much time to really sit and think about it and write more material for it, you know. So I think, all things aside, the album itself has definitely benefited from having a bit more time to work on it. So that was interesting, but obviously we do miss gigs. And obviously a massive part of releasing an album is doing gigs, so it's kind of a strange trade-off. We're not really sure what to think of it yet.
Yeah, because when we spoke, you were doing that show at that festival, then you're heading off somewhere else, and as far as I can remember, your schedule, your tour schedule, was pretty packed for this year. Do you have to find yourself other things to do, both musically, artistically, and otherwise, just kind of keep yourself on balance, I guess?
Yeah, I think you really do. Because I think people are in danger of either working too hard or not working at all in the pandemic, you know. As I know a lot of people who've really stuck their head in their work and kind of become obsessed with that. And I haven't really managed to be able to do that, although I would love to. I've kind of been watching more and started Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that's been on my mind. But yeah, we finished the album and we're just still doing bits and pieces now, but it's definitely strange thinking that we don't have that to work on anymore and there's no more gigs. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, I think.
Does it give you time to kind of go back and listen? I know with this year I've certainly gone back and listened to a lot of those acts and those albums that I'd read about, but I'd never actually sat down and listened to properly. Have you had time to do stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. Over lockdown, I've always wanted to really get into Bob Dylan's music and really go through all his albums, so started doing that, watching old movies I'd never seen before, you know, like stuff that would be on your bucket list, I suppose. You know, just really trying to keep busy, yeah.
And just in relation to your own music, obviously, you know, you release singles. Some of the early ones, you know, may not make it onto the album. I mean, I'm not asking you for the track list of the album. That's ridiculous. But I mean, did many of the well, not old songs, but the singles, could we expect to see some of them on the album, or is it just a lot of new stuff?
Oh, definitely. I think there's a really strong mix of both, which we're really proud of, because we've managed to hold on to some songs that we had written way before we even really considered ourselves a proper band. There's one song on there that we've had for like 4 years, maybe. And yes, and then there's obviously stuff that we've done in lockdown. So it's a real range of it's like 4 years of work. So we're kind of excited to just be able to wave goodbye to some of those songs because they've been in our heads way too long. We just kind of want to spew them out and see what people think of them. So yeah, we're really proud of it. It's a lot of different songs over the years, like stretched over a 4-year period.
Do you look back, because I remember mentioning it to you guys as a band. I remember mentioning a set that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing you at the Independence Festival a number of years back. And you all kind of chuckled and just said we're like a completely different band to that now. Do you find, like, you know, even as 6 months go by, you've moved on in what you might say leaps and bounds?
Yeah, I mean, over the pandemic, our playing as a band has definitely struggled. Because when we got back into to work and play together as a band and play these new songs that we had in the studio, we were really like holding on for dear life. So, yeah, I think when we were touring, we were constantly getting better and better with each show. But now that we don't have that, we've really got to try and like focus in and remember what playing live together is like, because it's really easy to lose track of that, especially if you're not doing it all the time. But can definitely see, we were looking back at old videos of us playing at those festivals, like at Independence and in the Workman's Club and stuff, and just kind of felt really proud for each other, you know, because we have come such a long way, and finishing this album is kind of feels like the end of an era for us in a way.
You often hear of people saying they're their own worst critics, and that can be a pretty healthy thing. But I mean, do you have to kind of you know, say, oh, hang on, don't be overly critical of yourselves, and kind of give yourselves maybe a little bit of slack sometimes? Do you have, or is it healthy kind of being critical of yourself?
I think different members of the band deal with that in their own ways, and I think we've all got a really good way of working with each other, where, you know, we kind of, if somebody's being overcritical, which I tend to do quite a lot of, we're kind of really good at just going, hold on, come back to reality here and think about this, you know, because nobody's going to care about your music more than you will. So we've always kind of got that mentality of just kind of really wanted to put out the best of ourselves, but at the same time, like, we can't really hold ourselves to too high standards, otherwise, you know, we wouldn't really be able to have fun with it as well, which is important.
Can you make plans for 2021, or are you kind of making them kind of with your fingers crossed, going, well, this is what we want to do, however, you know? It's
definitely a fingers crossed situation. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next year. I mean, we'll take any gigs you've got. Like, you think about doing birthday parties. Maybe, I don't know, you know, we just really want to get back on the road, and it is really hard to predict. And I think it's a real shame as well, because there's so many really talented people in the music industry, in the live music industry in particular, who are really suffering from this. And, you know, we're okay because we still get to do half our job, which is writing and creating music. But, you know, for our crew and stuff, we really want to get back on the road as soon as we can. And it's just really hard to tell when that's going to be.
It is. It's so hard to predict an end or maybe getting normal life back on track. But look, delighted to hear that the album is done, and I hope that you do get back playing live sooner. Maybe not at birthdays, just maybe gigs. But you know, you're going to be sorry you said that now. Somebody's going to call you up on that. And go, well, you did say you were doing birthdays, so. But look after yourself, and thanks for chatting to me, and hopefully see you guys on a stage very soon.
Oh yeah, I really hope to see you as well, man. See you later, Dan.